what up, what up, what up? I feel like so legit with this mic now. I can just be like, hey,
You're a
everybody.
regular YouTuber now,
Welcome to
alright?
KGF FM, and this is Smooth Talk Feminist Radio. How
I'm
you guys doing
listening.
out there? And we're taking caller number one.
Good callers.
There's always so many callers, and they always have the same damn calls. What is feminism? Is feminism going to turn my children gay? That's
First
just
time, long time listener,
It
ladies.
already fell on me. You know what? This is a good intro, though.
Just hold it like you're
Hold it.
like a broadcast journalist. You're like, "Hey,
Actually, this is pretty comfortable. I actually do like
Sarah's
this.
on the scene."
All right. Well, the reason why I fell is because I have a little plug. I am given jobs through Project Nerd, and I either complete them right like early and I'm an all-star, or I never do them and then they sit on my shelf for months. This is one of those projects. So I'm plugging it here today. You're here live, everybody. Live. I have here a couple really cool things. So I have this awesome. Let me show you this. You see it?
Oh, the
Yeah.
ball sack villain of the Marvel verse.
I know. And then I have another thing. Let me show you this.
She'll
I'm
figure it out,
doing
everyone.
great. Funko
Oh,
Pop has
look.
really awesome, cool lines of games. So I'm going to be doing an unboxing video, and this will not be on the show. This will just go ahead and be on the YouTube channel. So go ahead and check it out. I'm going to do a fun unboxing video with a Sarah Flair. We're going to see how it is. I think it'll be pretty
Ooh.
good. But the reason why my mic fell, and I'll be more careful, is because the PM budget could be better. So I don't quite have a mic stand yet, but I do have this awesome Thanos. And I figured that if he was strong enough to handle the Infinity Gauntlet, he would be strong enough to hold my mic. And we're going to do it. We're going to commit. I'm just going to be more careful with how I do this, which probably means I shouldn't be drinking, but I'm going to be. So let's see how it goes.
Hey, do it up. Put whatever you want on Thanos because he's dead now.
He's
So,
gone. He's gone.
yeah.
Okay. So, how are you? What's going on? Hey.
Well, luckily my mic is attached, so it never falls.
All
It
right.
just
Well,
stays.
you're just bragging now.
It's just a humble brag, you know. I got a mic that stays.
You gotta make it,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. I'm just waiting for spring to come up to the cold north, and it's not here yet. It's disappointing.
No. How's the new casa?
It's great. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's still standing. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything different? You notice? Is there anything we want to mention or?
is there? What am I missing here? You're gonna have to. Oh yes, your gorgeous new
Oh,
hairdo.
this whole thing.
Oh, the reveal. You should have had it all, like tucked up under the hat, like
I
you're a little
so
page boy.
I have so much hat hair right now that it doesn't. My hat hair is insane, but I couldn't even have it all wrapped up because I don't know if you can see the back of my head here.
Yes.
It's a little short to wrap up, but anyway. Hi guys, I have a new do. It came out a little 60s, and I'm all about it.
Yes. It's
But we'll
very
put
cute. I love short hair.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and put the hat back on because it's a little ridiculous right now.
I mean, it adds volume, and that's perfect. This is
That's good.
just,
It looks great. It's a headphone look.
yeah, the headphone look.
Mhm.
She's got the London look, and I've got the headphone look.
Calling, calling, London, 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 calling, London, calling. That's
This
just
is
it.
the London look right here.
London, a Dale. All right. Did you know that's what it's called? It's called a Dale.
No. I
That's
just always called it the London look
the
because
gap.
all the models from London have that gap.
Yeah, actually, so it's called a Dale, and that's why Chip and Dale, from Disney.
Yeah,
Uh, Chip
they have
has a
the
Yeah, Dale has Dale. So if you want to tell them apart, Dale is the one that has the tooth, and then Chip is the one whose nose is like a chocolate chip.
wow. Is that why they named them that and not after the old-timey furniture?
I mean, maybe. I also that's just what we used when I used to work for a mouse. I don't know if that's the actual
Oh,
name. All right.
you've got the inside scoop.
I got the scoops.
Scoops ahoy.
Scoops. Ah, all right.
Scoops ahoy. This is not a plug.
Remember when that cosplay was everywhere?
Yeah, I do. Now what is it gonna be? It's gonna be Segway the Riddler.
Riddle me this, G Spot. Why did it take you so long to get to the damn subject of the episode? Yeah.
It was a surprise for everyone involved, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Batman, did you see it?
Oh, of course I saw it.
Great. Did you fall asleep during it?
No, I was awake. I
You
was I
already
was I enjoyed watching it. I
you
was
already got a
wide
leg
awake.
up on me, so that's great.
Yeah. Okay, when did you fall asleep? Like what part? Right at the beginning? You're like, all
No.
right.
I fell asleep. I remember the funeral. The big so okay, first of all, this by the
Okay.
time this episode comes out, spoilers should not. So
Yeah.
calm down if you haven't seen it. Why are you
Spoilers.
watching the show? This is the shit we talk about.
Yeah.
Go home, Sheila. All right. So I'm pretty sure I remember the funeral, and
Okay.
then I kind of remember they're like on like a construction site together, looking over the city, and it's like this
Okay.
weird like. But that was like by
Yeah.
then I was like in and out. But like I want to be very clear, like I haven't finished. I haven't seen it yet just because I just haven't had the time. But I didn't like hate it. That's why I fell asleep. I saw it at probably a poor chosen time considering my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like I'm a single mother of two. I work like three jobs, and so I went to a 9 o'clock showing because that's the only time my friend could make it, and that's fine. That's what I signed up for. I bit off more than I can chew, and the movie itself is very quiet.
Quiet.
It is like the explosions and stuff are loud, but a lot of it is like, I'm just gonna, Alfred.
Yeah.
I've got to. I'm just. You don't know who I am. I'm just been whisper. This is a very whispery kind of situation.
I don't know. I don't recall it being super quiet. I mean, yeah, the explosions are always just like they jack up the volume on those for whatever reason, and then like the dialogue is always down, but I don't recall it being like extra quiet.
It
And
was.
like we went to see like a late showing as well,
Mhm.
and I was surprised I stayed awake, but
It
I've
was
never fallen asleep at a movie
It
theater.
was so well. Also, too now movie theaters are like before was like the little chairs that used worked. Now every damn chair is like recliner, heated,
Yep.
massage. There's like a tiny butler that comes out to help you. So like I'm like the recipe. I may have had some wine, so there's that.
Yeah,
From
that'll
the
do
movie,
it.
from the movie theater.
Oh yeah. Now all the movie theaters sell
Yeah,
beer and wine and popcorn.
I know, and then the movie is so dark, and I don't mean
Yeah.
like it's like like the lighting, like there's like usually I've done like movies like before where I've drinking and like I have like like the flashiness to like keep me stimulated, and so
Yeah.
much of the movie is like so dark that it's
Yeah.
like I just fell asleep. I was like, oh my gosh, like and even the explosions were kind of dark. Like it was just like it was a very the lighting was very dark. So
It
I'm
was.
not here to diss the new Batman. I'm just and did you see that meme that came out where it was like,
About dark
well, how God
dark
the
Batmans.
next Batman is just gonna be a black screen? I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not the
It's
only
like,
one who went through that.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was I saw that meme and I was like, that's good, but God, I hope it's not that dark. And I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't like I
Mhm.
was like, what is happening in this scene? It's too dark. Luckily, I could see everything that was going on. But yeah, like Batman movies have just gotten like physically darker and darker, as well as, metaphorically.
Okay. So I will admit that when I get like Chris Nolan set like a new standard, like we got these like really cool dark Batman movies.
Hmm.
I when I think of like what Batman villains can we take and like make them gritty in real life, I mean, like nowhere in my mind did Riddler ever be like, we could take that character and make it realistic. Like, what were your thoughts on that? Because I had mixed feelings about it.
I Yeah, I'm like thinking Jim Carrey, flamboyant, wearing a sequin green man suit with like the flaming red hair. And I was like, oh, it's the Riddler. Okay. But then the trailer comes out and you're like, oh, okay, that looks quite good. He's done a good job of taking it from being hokey, funny guy to like serious villain. And that was a surprise to say the least because I'm like, is he gonna be like covered in a freaking bodysuit?
I kinda miss my hokey villains. Is that
Go rewatch the Joel Schumacher ones with the Batman nipple suits and the over exaggerated Jim Carrey.
well, I guess, like, Batman's subject matter is so dark, inherently just dark, like, this subject is all so dark.
Yeah, unless they
Uh,
bring back. I mean, God, the Riddler was like really hokey, so it's like, who could they bring back to like lighten up the Batman movies? Like,
can you? I feel like we're in too deep.
we are. It's like, yeah, once you go like too dark, you can't just like, hey, we're gonna make like a fun Batman
Yeah,
movie with Two-Face, and he's a goofy,
I
dick
would love
around guy.
I would love to see the directors from Stranger Things take on Batman.
It would definitely be super interesting, and I would totally watch it. So,
I just feel like they can do horror. Like, they can do
yeah,
spooky and they can do dark.
yeah,
But, like,
and it's not
they're
too dark. I can
but
see
but
everything
but, like,
clearly.
the scenes that are happening after Lord of the Rings came out, Two Towers, no excuses.
For darkness?
Yeah, you could see everything in that damn movie, and I knew it was nighttime. The magic was not ruined.
Yeah, yeah. Did they use day for night in that? Night for day? Day
I
for night?
not in
Day for night.
day. No,
Day
they
for night. Shooting at daytime, but pretending it's nighttime, and you just like add that filter and it looks bad. But
no,
I don't
but there
remember.
do you I never that scene never looked bad. Everything was blue. They had a blue night.
Okay. Okay. I would
I don't feel like
expect
damn
Peter
great.
Jackson to have actually shot at night if he were doing a night scene.
I no, it was good. Do you not remember that?
I don't. I just rewatched it too, like a couple of weeks ago.
Two Towers is actually my favorite Lord of the Rings, so that's, like, one I remember really, like, being impressed with.
Yeah.
Okay, Catwoman, thoughts?
I liked Zoe as Catwoman. I thought she did a great job. Like she's like a physically small woman, so it's like she could fit into like any window. She makes the perfect cat burglar.
Yeah.
What were your pros and cons?
I appreciated the note of the troubled background orphan type story, which we actually covered when we were talking about like origin stories. When I was talking about the Batman stuff and like how it's all like women who have been scorned and like society has given up on them. So there's a lot of that. There, I liked that. I never got to see her become full Catwoman on account of me falling asleep, but I
You're
did
such a fake
enjoy.
nerd.
I'm just a tired woman. I dress cool, but I'm very tired. No,
You would make a
but
great
I really
Catwoman.
I enjoyed it. I liked what she stood for. I enjoyed how her burglary had a very good like good intentions, a Robin Hood esque type of vibe, even though it was like for her, like, but you know what I mean. Like it wasn't,
Yeah.
she wasn't cartoony,
Yeah.
and they kind of did that with Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. So it's not to say it hasn't been tried before, but I think Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman definitely had a pain that has never been achieved by Michelle Pfeiffer or Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna count the TV show because that was never a goal.
Yeah.
I
The
think the animation did a good job of it too, but through the level of it, you know?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't a big fan of Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. Like I like her as an actress, but I didn't like her Catwoman. It was like, I don't know, like too proper. Like she, I don't know. She doesn't fit Catwoman, and she was very like I'm gonna have high heel boots that are like a knife or something, and I'm gonna choke this guy with my foot. And I'm like, that's probably too much. No one would do that.
It was a very classy style.
She was very
It was a
like,
type.
society woman, but I'm a burglar. It was weird.
And look at my dance moves. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very I honestly still think Eartha Kitt's the best, and I'm not just, like, trying to, like, jump on the bandwagon, like, she just had, like, a sexuality and a, intimidation factor about her that I don't think maybe Michelle Pfeiffer got pretty close to that, 'cause that leather suit was pretty iconic.
Yes. Yes.
But I feel like Eartha Kitt was just, like, a very groundbreaking type of Catwoman.
See, I never saw like the old Batmans. And when you say Eartha Kitt, I just think of Santa Baby, the
She would,
classic
like
Christmas song.
She would just, like, spread her hands out and be like, "Oh, Batman, is this what you think?" But I'm doing this, like, weird elf voice. Her voice was, like, like and she would just, like, get, like, really in his face and grab him and be like, "Aren't you surprised by me?"
It's
It was
very
just very
overacting
but
of
it
the
was, like,
era.
well, I mean, all of them were overacting. Freaking
Oh
Joker's
yeah.
like, "Ah!" Like,
Yes.
this guy wouldn't even, like, shave his mustache. They had to paint over the Joker's mustache, so, like, come on. But
Wow,
that's
they painted over the
Did you not
Joker's
know that? So
mustache.
Caesar was actually a very famous actor, especially in, like, telenovela and other stuff. So his,
Yeah.
like, mustache is, like, what made him a heartthrob, so he
Mhm.
wouldn't shave it. So they were like, "If we paint over your mustache, will you do the Joker?" He's like, "Alright, I'll do it then."
God, that reminds me of Arrested Development when Tobias bleaches his mustache to try to get it to not be noticeable on his skin, and it's just like bright orange on his face, and
Mhm.
that's pretty amazing that they just painted over it. Now we
Yeah.
just CG it out.
That's all now we just paint it green.
Yeah,
Alright,
there you go.
okay. So that's good. What did you think? I thought and I can't remember his name. I did a good job of researching this episode. Commissioner Gordon,
Yes,
one of the
the
best.
guy from Westworld.
I always remember him from Hunger Games, but I know he's like
Oh yeah,
also, I also know him as the voice of the Radiolab intro, the Radiolab podcast.
for real? That's him?
Oh, yeah, you can't tell, it's totally he's from New
Wow.
York, yeah. If it's not him, that guy sounds just like him, like
Oh, so you didn't verify this at all? You're just like, it sounds like him. It's definitely him.
keep talking.
Yeah, although this Commissioner Gordon was like, he's kind of a limp fish. He was just like, "Hey, Batman, you want to help me out with this? Hey, you can escape through the back way over there. Cool." And I like, he wasn't really like emotive either. He was very just kind of like a mask as like acting goes. Like Gary Oldman, I'm not comparing everything to the Nolan films, but Gary Oldman had like some cute little one-liners. He's like, "I gotta get me one of those," and it's like, it's
Real
cute.
pause.
Yeah.
If you're not comparing this movie to the Nolan films, like, did you even see the same film? Because
I mean, I'm not trying to just like constantly
yeah,
be like, oh, this compared to the Nolan films. I'm trying to like go to other films besides just the Nolan films, but they're just so
but, like, the other ones
in
aren't in
my
the
head.
same vein, like, the Nolan films and these but I'll say this is also kind of a limping Batman. Like, I feel a lot of, like, because he was good, but I not saying that he was a weak everybody calm down. I'm not saying that he was, like, a weak or, like, whatever, but we started this is I think this is one of the farthest back we've ever taken Batman. Like
Yeah,
this is very early. This everything from the costume to the ages of everybody. Alfred is young. He is young.
yeah,
Like the Batcave is undeveloped. Like so, I'm not saying that he's going to get better, but it's like it's like the Peter Parker we got. Like
yeah,
we just we skipped the origin story, which we did with this, right? We know what happened, but we got
yes.
this
I liked that.
and we
Ooh,
got this I'm figuring out how to be a superhero, and then the plot twist, the 3rd Spider-Man episode was the origin story. So, basically, we were watching the prequels, and we didn't even know it. Not saying
yeah,
that's what's gonna happen here, but I appreciate this new take on really well-known heroes because we don't need an origin story,
yes, yes,
and It gives them more time financially as a studio because they can
Okay.
hire younger people and get a longer longevity out of a series, which is something we haven't gotten
Mhm.
yet. And, it explores honestly, a character arc that we haven't maybe in the comics, but we don't get that a lot. So, I
No.
thought this was a weaker Batman, but
Yeah.
I thought everybody, like, Alfred hadn't 100% figured himself out, like, he took some shit from Bruce that, like, old Alfred would have never taken,
Yeah.
right? I heard
I
I
did
that's
see that.
one
Mhm.
of the first things I caught where I was like, "I'm so Alfred would never do
Yeah.
that." But, like,
Like, you respect Alfred. He's your surrogate father.
everybody's learning their place, and so Batman's so, like, the Commissioner Gordon comment I agree with, but I'm also like, I think that was kind of the vibe.
But he's like an established detective still. He's like always gonna like if we go back to like the beginning of his career, it's like when Batman was being born. So he should be, in his ways. Batman, yeah, he's like young. He doesn't know. He's just getting his footing. He's a little, wet behind the ears kind of thing. And I enjoyed that part of it because it's like we don't need I'm so glad I didn't see his parents die for like the umpteenth time. I
They
was
died?
happy.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. I was happy not to see that because we all know. We all already know.
I will say, like, I think that, yeah, maybe we had an established detective, but we didn't have someone who was established with Batman, so there might be an arc there.
Maybe, but it seemed like he had his back. He had Batman's back. At every turn he was like, "Hey man, punch me and then escape out the back way and there's going to be like a riot." And he was like, "Hey, I'm going to invite this weirdo cosplaying as a giant bat onto this crime scene and everyone else can suck it. Like, I do what I want."
Do you want Cash Me Outside? Alright.
I want to know the origin of how Batman met Commissioner Gordon. How did they become best friends?
So, ye
Put that in a movie.
the
Don't tell it
old
to me right
school
now.
the old school days was just he just started showing up, and then, like, Commissioner Gordon was like, "We're gonna make this a thing." To this day, though, and I stand by this, the best Batman and, Commissioner Gordon relationship is the Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Max.
I think I saw episodes at your house, but I haven't seen, like,
It is
the whole
without a
thing.
doubt the best. We should have a watch party eventually if we get, like, a mom night. It is one of the best, like, just this, like, weird codependent dynamic. It's like, obviously it's a comedy, so but, like, it's one of those, like, this is, like, the first time we've seen their relationship taken anywhere else besides the same thing we've seen, so
Yeah.
it's freaking hilarious, yeah.
Alright. I
I
dig it.
like I think we had the most criticisms about Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, he was like, I
On
love
all
the
characters.
actor,
Yeah.
but he was just like,
Mhm.
meh,
Alright, I kinda feel like we got our taste of Alfred, so the big one.
the
Batman,
villain.
Batman, Dark
Batman, I've got plastic wrap over
Knight.
my mouth. Yeah, he was something else. Definitely incel vibes. Definitely, like, going on 4chan kinda
You
shit.
just you just said the word that I couldn't figure. Insult. Thank you. Yes, like, he was, like, n I felt uncomfortable with him being the hero, even though he was
The
literally
hero,
but you know what I mean, like, what are we
the
talking about? Are we talking about Riddler or Batman?
we're talking about Riddler.
We're talking about Batman!
No, we already talked about Batman. He was so not an incel, not
He wasn't,
Batman.
but he seemed like really emo.
He was emo because he was a lot closer to like his parents' death. He was, he was like a teenager almost. Like I don't know how old he's supposed to be.
Supposed to be a
Like,
kid. Alright, go back to Riddler. I rescind everything I just said.
cut it out.
Cut it. Cut it. Don't cut it. Keep that mistake in it.
Leave it
It makes
in.
it gold. Okay. Riddler seemed like I mean, like, keep in mind now, these are all these things like we're saying. These aren't like facts, everybody. He reminds me of like what happens when you don't provide mental health care to war veterans.
See, that was like the Joker to me in the Nolan films. he was like someone who had PTSD, unresolved trauma. He needed mental help and he just didn't get it. Also, the Joker from the Joker movies, but he refused mental help. Anyway, but Riddler just seemed like, yeah, he was mentally unstable, but he was like, I'm just gonna lean in and be full on.
I guess because he had so much, like, almost like black ops, like, really intelligent, very, like, strategic.
Yeah, but it was sloppy to me. It felt like he just played a lot of Call of Duty and he was like, I got some friends who were in the military and they told me this stuff and now I'm gonna, broadcast myself and all my cool learnings to the internet and, go on 4chan and get a following and then, shoot up a stadium. Did you see the ending?
I
When did you wake
I have okay, so this is just wait, we're gonna take a pause, we're going to Sarah's personal life here, hold on.
up?
So I was on a date when I went to go see this. America, listen, fell asleep. I'm a hardworking woman and I go through a lot of
It's
trials.
true.
So when I'm tired, I'm fucking tired. And I woke up like this. Is the movie over? Why is it bad? This movie is boring. And then my day was like, it's not boring. You really like this movie. You're just tired. I went, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. I'm fine. This movie's crap. And he goes, let's just go. And I went, no, we're gonna stay. And he was like, you like this movie, Sarah. We're gonna take you home. So he left early and then saw it later. And then I woke up the next day and was like, I know it was a pretty good movie, I was just pretty tired. So I haven't seen it since, and I didn't even get to finish it because when I woke up, I was like a baby.
Oh my God. What is happening? Okay, so in the end, I'll tell it to you and to our, 12 viewers. Thank you.
Wait, real quick.
Um,
Can you just give me like a "That's So Sarah" really quick? Just cue what "That's So Sarah."
that's so Sarah.
Okay, go ahead, yeah.
I wrote it down in a text because I was like, this is there were a lot of like other elements. Okay, so there was like a mishmash of other movies slash genres in this movie. God, can I find it in like 5 seconds and not make this a super boring podcast?
It's not a podcast.
I mean,
Damn it!
TV show.
Damn it!
Anyway,
Nikki, are you there? Cancel the shit. I can't work with her anymore. I'm trying to stall for her, and she's just looking at me and not at her phone
okay,
and giving
anyway,
me
anyway, anyway.
unfortunate cues.
I'll remember. There was like, okay, I got like Mad Max vibes because in the beginning you see it's kind of a lawless city and it's always lawless, but it's like people are like makeshifting vehicles and masks and they're doing their own stuff and it's just like this, lawless, much wetter Mad Max. And then there's like
That's
Fast
actually
and the
right. Yeah,
Furious vibes with like the car chases and freaking Penguin, who we didn't even mention the Penguin.
we did.
And
I like that. I thought one of my
he
most.
was
That was a
another
great
one that
penguin.
you're like, what? You're putting the Penguin? And then it's like, oh, that was like a legit
But
okay
that's what
choice.
the penguin always was. He was like just a mobster that like kind of looked weird. And I
Yeah.
remember being like, what a great like. Yes, this is what he would like. He was a crime lord. He wasn't like a super villain.
Yeah, and he definitely there was a scene towards the end of the movie when Catwoman and Batman have like God, they haven't hog tied him, but they tied his hands and his feet, and
And
they
he's
leave
against the
him at
wall. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
they leave him, and he's like waddling away, like trying to get to them, and I'm like, he's walking like a penguin.
And all of us are like, hey.
Like,
I see what you did there.
yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
For the fans. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, that's like a cute like you got him to be the penguin in like the darkest way possible, I guess." And it was
Yeah.
cute. It was just like a little throwback. So I liked that. But okay, in the end, there's like a giant storm coming or something. I've only seen the movie once, but there was some kind of catastrophic weather event, and the whole city was gonna get flooded, or maybe they blew up pipes. I can't remember.
Out of all the people to be reviewing this movie, it's definitely the two of us.
Definitely, you should continue watching. Thank you. But anyway, like the whole city is getting flooded, and everyone is like on the street is being like put into this giant stadium, and the Riddler has like planned all this, and so he's got all of his like little Riddler juniors camped out in the building with like the same. The Riddler has like what's like the army jacket and the
Yeah.
saran wrap
Yeah.
on his face and all that jazz and the clear rimmed glasses, and so they're all like waiting to like shoot all these people who have gathered in this stadium. And eventually it
So the
starts.
stadium is like
It's
like
like
where
the
you go for the emergency.
Superdome for like
Yeah.
Hurricane
It's like
Katrina.
yeah, got it, got it, got it. Did
Yeah,
he
but it's
plan
like
the storm?
inside.
Is he Storm, the Riddler?
I mean, he could be somehow. I don't know if he.
Or was it a natural disaster that just happened?
God, I can't remember. Hey,
Okay, wait,
what
real quick.
happens?
Oh wait, what happened at the end?
Why does the city get flooded in Batman?
They blew up the
Yes,
dam.
they blew
They
up the
flooded the
dam.
city. They blew the dam. And then
Oh, okay, okay. They
I
they
no,
blew up
I
the
was mistold.
levees.
They blew up the dam, the
Yes.
levees.
Okay. Yes. They had a
Everybody had
bunch of buses or vans
disaster. It
blowing
was
up.
the disaster relief. Listen, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, we did not just ask our SOs for that information.
Thank you.
Over okay, because I know mine was over here on the couch doing this.
I
Like, girl,
know
what
what
happened?
it is.
Look at me. Was that were you getting that on your end? Because
No, I
mine
was
over
just like.
I just kept looking, he kept going like this.
Okay, so he causes the flooding.
So he starts it. How does he do it? He does what? He
He's
blows
got
up
a bunch of vans
bombs.
parked along the levees, and for some reason
Oh.
Gotham is below sea level, so it's
Yes,
like
that's it's a mini no, it's
Louisiana.
no, it's Chicago. Is it Chicago? It's Chicago.
Is Chicago below sea level?
But
That
that's what it is. Because Minneapolis is Gotham, and I believe Chicago. Yeah, Chicago is Gotham. Yeah.
Chicago is Gotham. Minneapolis is Metropolis?
Yes.
Okay.
Superman.
But in
I
this
have not been
Batman,
to Superman.
apparently it's New Orleans because it's below sea level and the levees do explode and all of it comes rushing in. Okay, so everyone goes to this Superdome and the Riddler's dudes are all there just waiting to like shoot fish in the barrel. And okay, Batman saves the day, everyone's safe. But he goes up into like the rafters to fight all of these Riddler juniors, and he's in like this. He's got like all of them beat, and then there's one that like gets him down, and then Catwoman comes out of nowhere and like saves his ass, and it's like, oh, that's like a great perfect save, it's nice. She comes in, saves the day, unexpected, and you're like, okay, that's a good way to segue into the next scene. And the next scene is a guy attacks her, and then Batman has to save her, and it's like, why did you do that? You didn't need to. You could have just,
I'll
you
tell
didn't
you
have to do
why.
the Kylo Ren, Ray
Yeah.
Skywalker thing. You could have just cut it off there instead of she had to be the damsel in
But you know what though?
distress.
I could see some male film critic being like, it wasn't about deep taking away her power. It was about showing that he had somebody important. It was about his character growth, about caring about somebody.
But he literally had to, like, inject himself with, like, Bane juice or something to, like, because he was
I
so
missed the
jacked
Bane
up.
juice scene.
Yes, it was green in a little vial, and he was all jacked up, and
There's
he was like he
everything.
could yeah, he could barely move, and that's why when Catwoman came to save him, it was like he was about to, like, be murdered right there. And
Mm.
so Catwoman comes, saves him,
I'm getting so many looks right now, really quick. I have to acknowledge the, like, "You missed everything" kind of face.
We're not going into detail, okay? It's skimming over because
No,
there's just
just
certain
this,
things I want to talk
like, "I
about.
told you you liked the movie, and you missed everything, you fell asleep." Like,
Oh. All right. Well, that's on you.
and
But
alright, but this is good.
yeah, so
This was
that's
a
what I
great
took
recap, totally
issue
worth an
with.
episode, it was great.
Yes. That was like the last thing.
Alright, I
Put
like it.
that tongue away.
Let me, like, talk to a dog, the dog is just, like, exists, like
I love that one dog that's just like it's like got its head crooked and like its tongue hangs out. I think it's got like a disease or something, but it's very cute.
I'm like that dog that's sitting in the room of fire drinking its coffee, that's me.
Hey man.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
fine,
everyone these
this is
days.
fine. Like, alright, let's do a G spot. A not a G spot,
A
so we're doing
G rating.
a G
A G scale.
scale.
I liked it. It's at least 4 out of 5 G's. It's at least gold money
I feel
G.
like 3.5. Like, I don't wanna give it
Well,
a I
you
don't wanna
fell
give
asleep, so I think if you had seen all of it, it would make the whole 4.
okay, now how about this? I only saw 3/4 the movie, so I will give it I'm getting so much sass from this side off the screen. 3/4 of the movie, so I will 3/4 scale it and then say 3, because then there's
Okay.
a whole other fourth I haven't judged yet.
All right. We can do that. Sounds
Also, really
fair.
quick, I pulled up a photo. I know, we haven't showed one photo in this episode, and I apologize to our viewers. We're normally more professional.
You don't want to
Um,
see other
well
things
well,
besides
I
us.
you're here, we owe you the right content, so I pulled up a really good photo of Batman. This is actually a really cool behind the scenes shot.
Oh,
Look at that. That's Catwoman, and
very
then I think
nice.
that's Alfred on the bottom.
It's definitely Alfred, for sure. I remember the actor clear as day.
Alright, someone was sharing that they saw someone at the theater, they were wearing a Batman shirt, like, it had the Batman logo on it, like, right
Okay.
here, but then inside the Batman logo, it said Team Edward, and that has to be the best.
Oh, that's good.
That's great.
That's a deep track right there.
I just love that it's one of those things where it's like, what a great example of, like, somebody getting, like, kind of trapped in a fandom, and people were
Mhm.
like, "No, that's okay, you can be Batman, but, like, never forget."
It was a you can be Batman, comma Edward.
Come Edward, Team Edward, I'm Batman.
Yes.
Alright.
But there was a scene where I think Batman was waiting in like that abandoned building, and then Catwoman shows up, and I was like, "Where the hell have you been, Loca?"
On that note, great recap, really well researched, we clearly knew
Well done.
everything.
Mhm.
We if anybody was to ever judge this film, it would definitely be to the us,
The
who
highest
couldn't even remember
Siskel
a
and
scene.
Ebert right here.
Yeah, honestly, yes. That's what this is. Thank you all for joining us. We'll have some fun, flavorful stuff later. Keep an eye out for my unboxing video. Do you have anything you want to plug, D?
I want to plug more of this show. Keep watching. We're doing great.
And then remind you to go ahead, check out the Project Nerd. Okay, I have to say this finally. Doesn't my hair look like a wig?
I mean, in certain lights, but it's so bright. It's like
It looks like a wig. Like if I don't take my hat off, it looks like I'm wearing.
it could be. What if it is a wig?
It's not a wig.
How will we
I
know?
can pull it. It's not a wig. It's my
I
real hair.
know.
This is the show. Look at me.
We
Goodbye,
needed that
everybody.
Austin Powers scene where Austin is trying to rip the wig off that old lady, and she's like,
That's
"Austin,"
not a woman, Basil. That's a man.
and he's like, "That's my mother."
Goodbye, everybody.